Hey Legend Crew, welcome back to another episode of Legend Ethics Shared Dreams. This is Gino Charles over here. Is it Gino Charles?
Yeah, Gino Charles and then Villanueva.
Oh, Villanueva, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've only known you as Gino Charles, that was on your Instagram.
On my Instagram, yeah.
Before you came over, I was like, what's his last name? Because, funny enough, we've only ever met once before this. It was at the Asians on Film AOF Film Festival this past year, and we were following some of the same Asian actors, and because a lot of them are mutual friends and stuff like that. And so we met each other for the first time at the film festival, and it was like, I know you.
It's you.
I know you. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's really cool because, did you meet Josiah before Asians on Film Festival, or did you meet him at a previous one?
Been at this one.
At the, no, I'm confusing. Jonathan and you guys are...
Oh yeah, Jonathan Tanigaki, yeah. He was a past episode. Be sure to check his out as well. But yeah, we actually met at an audition. Funny enough, because we're on the same management team, but we'd never actually met in person, and so we were at this audition, and we were like, do I know this guy? Like, I recognize him, and we were like, you're from my management team, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. It was like, and we just started chatting and stuff like that, and that's how we met. So it's pretty cool. It's such a small world.
It is.
I mean, even with so many people in LA, it's really a small world. I mean, going around the corner, oh wait, I know you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's people that you consistently see when you do go to your auditions too.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting.
That can be kind of annoying. There's certain roles that I'm sure you go out for as well, but certain roles that I always go out for, and it's always against the same people. It's like, this guy's already landed a role. Come on now.
But it's all what you can give.
Hey, but it raises the stakes and it brings the competition, and I like that, you know.
Challenging.
Exactly, it brings the best out of you. But anyways, so go ahead and tell people who you are, where you're from, and let's get it started with that.
Okay, so my name is Gino Charles Villanueva. I'm from Elgin, Illinois. I lived there for a long time, and I actually moved here to LA like 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6 years ago, August 2013.
Wow.
And I moved here because, I just graduated from Elgin Community College. I got my associates there, and for being a part of an Asian family with, being in the medical field is very important.
Yeah.
Because, our parents just want us to keep, just be financially free and just be okay when they think they're gonna go. Yeah. But yeah, I tried it, and I did my research, and I looked into what I fit in, and I couldn't really find anything.
Yeah.
And, on the side of that, while I was looking into the medical field, I was taking acting classes and theater classes and stage combat, and I was just I was excelling in all of those. Yeah. And it was just you know what? Let me just give it a try. Yeah. From 18 till I'm giving out my age. When I moved here, I was 23.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I spent from 18 to 23 just in college, figuring out what I want to do and where I want to go. Yeah. And then by the time I got my associates, I was just let me just do this. Yeah. And Mom, I'll be okay. That kind of thing.
That's the hardest part sometimes, is reassuring them that we'll be okay. We have it all. At least when I made the move, I was going into kinesiology in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I stopped going to come here. But I could already see it in my brain. I can see it in my mind. That's why, when people ask, how did you make this decision? Well, I don't know. I didn't necessarily use my creative side of the brain or the analytical side either. It was kind of a mixture of both. I was following my heart, following my passion when I went into acting, but at the same time, I still have a notebook in that closet where it's a notebook of where I was going to live, how much I was spending each month.
What?
I was looking up different cars. I was looking at the gas mileage for the car. I was doing insurance quotes for those cars. I was looking at just everything. I did my research on just everything. So it's a weird mixture of both, of following my heart is what gets it going. Whatever passion I pursue, it's always the heart that gets it going, and then the analytical mind steps in, and I break it down to the nth degree of like I can see it in my mind. I know I can do it, and so I mean that's the hard part. You know, it's just expressing to our parents like I will be fine. I know what I'm doing. You know, but
yeah,
I mean, heck, you made the move, so that's fantastic.
Well, unlike you, I mean, you were like working with numbers and like just doing a whole bunch of research. I just like I worked like 4 jobs. I worked at Target. I worked at Hurley and Volk Orthodontics as a sterilizer and like a dental assistant-ish. And then I worked at GameStop and Jurin Japanese restaurant. I was saving money from like the time I had graduated until like the time that I moved, or up until the month before.
Wow.
And I just, gosh, I didn't even save that much, to be honest. I think I just saved like $5,000.
Oh, geez. Well, that's good, man. I mean, that'll cover you for at least a few months.
And you know what? I moved here in August, and then it was out by October. A couple months is right.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I remember.
Well, I mean, you're still here though, 6 years later.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, you did something right.
I am still here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, but what was it that I mean kind of incited that passion for you for theater, the stage combat, and everything?
Honestly, it was, I loved movies. Like growing up, I would watch action movies with my dad, and even Filipino action movies.
Yeah.
And then just like Power Rangers.
Yes.
Like that was, I saw the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I just remember, like I can vividly remember just like being so into it and wanting to be a Power Ranger. I still do.
The Red Ranger was my favorite.
Yeah?
The Red Ranger was mine, yeah.
I'm very unconventional. I like the Pink Ranger.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do like the Pink Ranger. It would be cool if there would be like, well, if I ever got to be like a Power Ranger, I'd be like the first male Pink Ranger. There's only one other Pink Ranger that's been a male, and he's in the Japanese series.
That's
and
cool.
His character actually dies.
Wow.
Which is really interesting.
Wow. It's kind of dark for Power Rangers.
It is, and there's like, I watched an ending, I don't know what Ranger it was, but like he got stabbed and there was blood and he died on a park bench. Wow. And that's how the season ended. I'm like, wow.
That is dark for Power Rangers, jeez.
And you look at it over here and it's just like, it's really happy and kind of cheesy, but it's like, it still teaches its lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted Power Ranger.
Yeah. Hopefully those dream roles, just keep coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want to fight on film.
Yeah.
Fight on film and, cry or laugh or make people laugh.
Yeah, well, because after we'd met in person, I was kind of asking you like what you do and stuff like that. So I was kind of like trying to figure out what you were doing. Mm-hmm. You said you also choreograph as well, right?
Yeah.
So is it dance, fighting? Like, is it all of the above? Or?
Oh my gosh. Well, before I moved out here, I was part like of a hip hop team in Chicago. Like I did a little bit of that, and then I did lots of like cultural dancing. So there's some, like, I guess I'm pretty good with the movement of my body. And I just recently actually did a music video with
I saw that. Yeah.
It's going to be coming out on October 10th.
Yeah, I saw that you posted about like just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as it comes out.
And then like we were doing rehearsals for like pretty much 3 weeks straight, and it was dance hall, and it's just like, it's lots of hips and like body rolls and everything that I don't usually do. Yeah. So it's just like, but I was able to do it. Once
That's cool.
Came down to filming it, yeah, it was down. So yeah, dancing. I did martial arts when I was young, 13 years old. 9 to 13. I did karate and taekwondo, and it's kind of tragic. I never got a black belt in karate. I got the brown belt, double black stripe.
Oh wow!
There's one belt underneath, and then I hurt my knee. I think I tore my ACL. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask my mom about it, but it hurt, and I couldn't do it
at such a young age, too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, there's that. And
yeah.
You know what? With stage combat, what's funny is that it's all about keeping your partner safe, right? And the other one is like you're trying to defend yourself. But I'm still able to do it, and it's still fun. Just makes me happy.
That's cool. That's awesome. I mean, that's a very interesting transition, though. I mean, like you said, with the Asian parents who generally want to, as you were trying to go into the medical field, to go into acting and stage combat and choreographing different projects, stuff like that. But that's really cool. But what would be, I mean, an obstacle, one of your biggest obstacles then? I mean, trying to go into that.
My biggest obstacle? A big one for a while. I didn't even it took me probably 4 years to realize it's just and it's also very cliche to say, but it's everything that you do and everything that that bleeds out of the acting that you do per se, and when you get those auditions and you study the script and you study the scenes, and you make the decisions of what you believe the character would do or what fits the circumstance. It all comes down to, did you do the work? How hard you tried for it. And if you did those two things, then everything that came from it is good enough.
Yeah.
You know? People generally know when they're slacking off or when they don't care. So it's that's something to be proud of. If you put in the work, then it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for a long time, it took me a while to just, I guess we were talking about earlier, with validation.
Exactly.
Because we do these auditions, we do our research, we do our work as actors. And then we go into the audition room where we film that self-tape, and then we don't hear anything. And
that's hard.
Yeah, it's you know, it's can you just give me a note or something?
Yeah.
Or but most of the time, when it comes to their decision making and everything, it's oh, it's just because you weren't 5'8", 5'9", or you reminded me of my ex. Maybe in their head, and no one's ever told me that, but so it's just these things that you cannot control.
You can't predict. Yeah.
You can't control it, you can't predict, and it's just you just make sure that you did enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you are.
Yeah. Because it kind of reminds me of Scott Stewart's episode. He's an acting friend of mine and helped me a lot with setting up Legend Ethics and all that, but the way he's going into acting as well. Mm-hmm. And it was actually after we were done filming the episode, we were still talking. Mm-hmm. And I wish he'd said this in the episode because it's so great. I mean, but what he said was, a lot of people, they'll work a 9-to-5 job, and their reward is their boss saying good job and a salary. As actors, we're not getting paid unless we get the role, and when we go out for these auditions, most of the time we won't even hear back, mm-hmm. unless it is a callback or you land the role. Mm-hmm. And so with a 9-to-5, you're getting that validation from your boss and from your salary itself. But from acting, if you did a full day of studying, if you did a full solid month of studying or whatever, preparing for a role, breaking down a script, there's no source of validation saying good job, here's your paycheck. You don't have a bot saying good job, you did the work. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I was what we were talking about before was we have to learn to self-validate and appreciate for ourselves what we've done. And kind of goes back to Mark Yeager's episode where he was saying, let's celebrate your small victories. I mean, whether it's just going out for an audition, even if you don't land the role, even just going out for the audition itself, we have to learn to celebrate those victories. Because, I mean, there are countless people submitting for those roles, countless people just trying to get in the room, and you did. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, as long as you put in your best effort, I mean, celebrate those small victories. And again, validate yourself. Because, I mean, that's one thing, looking for it externally, but that's never going to be consistent, But if it's residing within you, that you are happy with what you have done, then, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I like what you said about, even scoring the audition.
Yeah.
Because you look the part. An acting teacher that I had, and her name is Erica Bream, she did audition techniques with me. And she said that we want you to succeed. When we bring you into an audition room, we want you to be the one so that we can go and, go on to the next and continue our jobs.
Yeah.
And so they're I think we've read it in enough articles online and heard it from enough people, but it's just they want us, they're on our side.
Yeah.
and that's something that just kind of goes over our head when we have the pressures of studying, going in and researching like what our character is and everything for that audition.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I mean, it's like almost self-sabotaging ourselves when we go in there. We start freaking out. We start because of the prospects of how big this role may be, or like if it's for a huge network series or whatever, or for a feature film being produced by some famous actor, whatever. We kind of like self-sabotage and start freaking out and like start over-analyzing, overthinking, and just. But I mean, you just gotta let it go, let it flow, and if you've done the work, it's gonna flow. Yeah. So I mean, what's kept you kind of inspired to continue going into acting and choreographing and everything like that? I mean, with your obstacles, what's kept you motivated?
Honestly, just like life and life just randomly happening. It's funny because like I think I've gotten to that point. I finally got a job that like it's not it gives me almost 40 hours, and it's just like, okay, this is what I get or what I do to get my money and survive, and continue living here in California. And then when I do get my auditions, or when I do submit and they're like, hey, yeah, come in for an audition, I'll be like, okay, cool, awesome. I can do it, do my work, and then have something to do afterwards to keep my mind so I don't have to think, oh my gosh, how did this? Because, okay, for the longest time, when I was in school from 2016, I graduated 2017 in December, and I worked at a movie theater, and I helped with red carpet events. I was able to watch 4 movies a week and do my homework at the same time while I was playing the movies and people were going in there, and I did the projector and I did front desk and everything, and I loved that job. And what is it? I don't know, one day I stopped appearing on the schedule and my hours became less and less and less, and I came up to the boss and I was like, I'd like to have more hours. I was pretty much begging for my job, because I don't know, I took pride in what I did. I loved it, and the people that I worked with, the people that I met. And then all he told me was, you'll be okay. He patted my shoulder and then walked away. And then I didn't have a job after that, and I was really heartbroken.
Wow.
And it's I poured soul into that, and I really loved it. And so I kind of made a vow. I was like, I'm just gonna work on my studies. I'm gonna keep up with my studies. I don't know how I'm gonna get money, but I'm just gonna use my credit cards, whatever. I did that, and then I graduated, and it was awesome. And then I didn't have a job for a long, long, long time. So this is why I was bringing up that I finally got a 40-hour job. But it's when you do pour your whole heart into acting and making every audition this is you're putting so much weight onto it and so much pressure on yourself. And I found that when you do that, people can kind of read the desperation, as compared to now when I have this job. I work in the Museum of Illusions as a photographer and a cashier over there. But if you don't have something to do after your auditions, it just people can tell when you're super, super desperate, and that can kind of hinder and hurt you, as opposed to when you have something to do afterwards, or you have something else that's you have
you need the release.
Something creative, something just something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my acting opportunities after getting this job, have kind of oh, you got booked. What? For the latest project that I was a part of, it was a commercial, and I had to go to an audition while I had work, and my supervisor was he was really supportive. He let me go in the middle of the shift.
Wow.
And I went in and did my thing. And they had me jump up and down, and then I left. And then all of a sudden I got a call back during work. I went to that too. And then I got booked.
Wow.
And it was just like, I have to go to my work. I have to go to my work. Let me just do this, and then I'll go. And it, like, I was like, I think even before I booked it, I was like, I'm not gonna get this. All I did was jump in front of him. But I got it. And it's like, it wasn't when I was just like, oh my God, I need to get this audition. It's so important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my words and everything are all over the place, but like.
No, but I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, you need that release. I mean, it's because like my dad said, there's a fine line between passion and obsession.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And I will say acting is my entire life. I mean, that's what I'm here on this earth to do, and that is what I will do. But at the same time, I do need my breaks from it. You know, just click it off, turn it off, and hang out with my dog Spunky. You know, and just take long walks. And that's why, like I was telling you before we started the episode, I need my nature fixes because it kind of just quiets the mind, calms the mind, and it just puts me in this different world where I don't feel like I'm like part of this huge piece of the puzzle in LA where I have to do my part, otherwise the puzzle's not fixed. You know, it's like I can just step away for a sec and just relax. But yeah, so I definitely see what you're saying there.
Yeah. It took a bit to get out, but.
Absolutely. So what would be a tip that you can give the viewers in terms of chasing their dreams?
I think it was kind of deals with like what I was speaking of last time when I was like looking into like what would suit me in the medical field. You do what feels right to you, you know? And when you do that, I mean, everything just flows naturally. Whatever is important to you, whatever you stand for, and then go with it, you know? As far as like you're put on this earth to do, like, you choose whatever you want to do for yourself. And you carry that with you until the day you die, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's like, why spend so much precious time doing, though I do understand why people would do that, but just, you know, stay true to what you want and what you want for yourself, and know that what you want is good for you.
Absolutely.
And your family will see that, and yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. That's very nice. But I mean, I also like what you said was, I mean, day by day, I mean, by the time you die, you are creating a legacy of some kind, a lasting legacy of some kind. And so that's why it's truly up to you, like, as you said, I mean, to create it as you see fit, because I mean, when death comes rapping at your door, that's it. You can't bring any luggage with you. You can't bring your finances with you. You can't bring anyone else with you. I mean, it is what it is. It's you and you yourself. And so, I mean, that's why, I mean, building that lasting legacy has always been on my mind. I mean, obviously we're still super young. So I mean, knock on wood, we have a while before we have anything to worry about that. But is building that lasting legacy that I can be proud of.
Yes.
And that's why, I mean, Legend Ethics, yes, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and a lot of tiring hours of filming, editing, so on and so forth, but it is so gratifying and satisfying to hear these very unique and personal stories and these words of wisdom. I mean, because a lot of the words of wisdom, some of them do overlap, you know, with some of the guest stars, some of them do overlap. But that's because a lot of things that these guest stars say is common sense. There's a difference between common sense and common practice. And so I feel that hearing these stories and hearing it enough and hearing it often enough, it's gonna resonate, you know, because it's as they say, who you hang around kind of reflects who you are. And so, like, even when I'm walking back to my car from work or something like that, you know, going from work back to my car, I'll be listening to an episode, you know, it's just because I want the more and more and more I listen to these episodes and hear these words of wisdom, it starts to resonate, and consistency is what's always been I'd say one of my faults, is that I get so gung-ho about doing something. And I'd say it's pretty common with it. When you get so gung-ho and excited about doing something, and it kind of withers away after a month or two, you know? But that's something that I've been really trying to push myself on, is consistency. Consistently trying to do my martial arts, consistently doing my studies, consistently reading acting books, consistently working on a script when I get them. You know, it's consistently working on it. It's not just boom, done, put it away. No, it's consistently working at it. And legend ethics. I mean, I've been doing it for 7 months now. And the only week I missed was when I moved into the new spot here. You know, but it's pushing myself to have that consistency. And but it's in the end, like you said, it's that lasting image of who you're going to be, what your name stands for. And so, I mean, I'm proud to have you join the Legend crew, Gino.
Thank you.
It's a very amazing story, and I love your words of wisdom, and I really do appreciate you sharing. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I mean, with that, I mean, I'll be sure to post your Instagram in the description below, and mine as well, so you can stay up to date with everything, all the guest stars and your music video. And I want to see some of your choreographing stuff. If you have any videos and stuff like that, send them my way. I really want to see everything that you've done.
Okay.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna grab some like little highlights and stuff like that I can post and stuff like that.
Splice it in.
Yeah. Exactly.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Legend Ethics Shared Dreams. Again, this was Gino over here. Awesome dude. Second time meeting him. But we've communicated a lot through Instagram, which has been great. I mean, we've always bounced ideas off each other. We were sending me some videos. As you said, Legend Ethics kind of reminded you of it. So I got to check that out, because I'm sure I can find some useful techniques and tips from that. But yeah, I mean, so thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to hear from more awesome guest stars like Gino over here. And check out the description to see his Instagram, mine as well, so you can stay up to date with our acting careers and stuff like that, because I mean, projects, they come like this, you know, so you got to stay up to date with them. And be sure to check out legendethics.com. Gino actually has a tank top over here. Perfect timing for winter. It's getting cold, and but
I love tank tops.
Exactly, all the pictures you post are always in tanks, so it kind of worked out. So I'm glad you like it. And other than that, let's build the Legend crew, guys. Let's keep it going. Thank you very much, Gino.
Thank you.